today. We're going to get right to senior insider Shams Charania. Shams, what has changed today regarding Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks?
Hannah, what's changed is Giannis is now ready and prepared for a trade from the Milwaukee Bucks, either at next Thursday's NBA trade deadline or in the offseason. My understanding is, to put it plainly, Giannis has made it clear and communicated to the organization that he believes it's time to part ways after 13 years together and the first championship in 50 years in 2021. And what's changed for the Milwaukee Bucks is they have had a surge of aggressive trade offers made on Giannis, and they are now listening to them. These are offers of all-star caliber players, multiple draft picks, but this has been brewing for the last 9 months. Giannis and his agent Alex Saratzis have been very upfront with the Bucks organization about his desire to compete for a second NBA championship. And where this Bucks organization is now is they're dealing with being 9 games under 500. They're the 12th seed in the Eastern Conference. They're now being surpassed by the Charlotte Hornets at 11, and they're more jockeying for lottery positioning than even Giannis's return from the calf injury. So there's been a lot of uncertainty within that Bucks locker room, Hannah. We're now 8 days from the NBA trade deadline. We'll see if a deal happens.
I'm sure that uncertainty hasn't been easy on his teammates either. What are the Bucks asking for now as they listen to these trade offers for Giannis?
The Bucks are being patient, Hannah, but my sources say that they're giving indications that they want either a young blue chip talent and or a surplus of draft picks, and probably a combination of both things as they sift through these offers this week and next week's. They're not in any rush because they could handle this in the offseason. But in the offseason, that's where Giannis will have even more level of control, because next year will essentially be the expiring final year of his contract, because he has a player option in 2027. And so the closer you get to the end of your contract, the more leverage a player like Giannis will have in determining where he ends up, because any team that trades for Giannis needs to know whether he wants to be there long-term, given how much they're going to have to give up.
Exactly. That trade deadline a week from tomorrow, Shams, is all over it. You can check out an extensive piece on this on ESPN.com. Thank you, Shams. Well, the Bucks now listening to offers for Giannis. Their outlook certainly explains why, as they are 3-12 without their superstar this season. They only have 2 tradable future picks. They are the 5th oldest team in the league, and they have over $80 million in dead cap remaining after that Damian Lillard wave and stretch. So now for more, we're joined by senior insider Brian Windhorst, front office insider Bobby Marks for more on this 31-year-old two-time MVP and perhaps a seismic shift in the league regarding where he goes. Wendy, what are you hearing about who's aggressively pursuing Giannis?
Yeah, so Hannah, do yourself and do Giannis, frankly, a favor and wipe away the worries about who's asking for a trade. Shams is bent into a pretzel trying to respect all parties here. Giannis is ready to be gone. He wants to be traded. The Bucks are ready to listen to offers, and this is a maneuver to say, send us your offers. Everything else is politicking. Just put it aside. Don't worry about it. Just move on, okay? So now what the Bucks have to do is they have to look at who has done this the best, who has been in this situation, who should they mimic. Let's just look back to 2019 and the Oklahoma City Thunder. They had to trade Paul George and Russell Westbrook. They prioritized far-out draft picks and really good young players. They ended up getting picks that they still haven't gotten from LA Clippers yet, and a future MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So that's what they're looking for. Don't prioritize trades that bring in players that could help them now, because the Bucks are in a position where they need to worry about this year's draft pick. They need to tank the rest of this season, improve this year's draft pick, and have themselves in position to rebuild as fast as possible. And that's what they're looking for. And a team, if they're going to make a straight-up trade, you're looking at teams that can give the most opportunities. The Golden State Warriors are a team that immediately rises to the top of the list. As far as the teams that are out there that can make a straight-up trade with the Bucks, not 2-team, 3-team, 9-team, 12-team trades. You can just make a team versus team trade. The Warriors hold all of their future draft assets. They can trade all of them, up to 4 firsts and swaps and stuff like that. Steph Curry is there. They have immediate need for a star player. This is where this discussion begins, is Golden State, and everybody else, I think, is going to have to try to beat a strong Golden State offer if it comes.
All right, so, Bobby, how realistic is this? I know that you've identified 11 NBA teams that really have the assets to make this trade. So what would that look like between the Warriors and the Bucks?
Yeah, I don't want to say the easiest, but as Brian said, it's probably the most straightforward. Here's Giannis and Jimmy Butler make the same amount of money. And I don't want to say that Mike Dunleavy Jr. would go back on his word and not trade Jimmy Butler, but if you can get Giannis in a trade, I think certainly Butler would have to be the player to go out. Now you're looking at draft picks. They can trade their 4 first-round picks, unprotected first in the next 7 years. They've got pick swaps. You want to put Jonathan Kuminga in that deal? We'll take back Kyle Kuzma if you're the Warriors here. And certainly Golden State has a young player like Brandon Podziemski here. I think if you're Golden State, you got Steph Curry and Draymond Green on your roster for another year. How do you keep on maximizing this win? It's certainly a big risk. But if you can get Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think it's certainly worth what you're giving up for all your future assets.
All right, so let's bring in Perk, Danny, and Chene, who have been sitting by, absorbing all this information. Chene, right off the top, what's your initial reaction to everything you've just heard?
I know the rumors circulating for the last few months made this feel like a saga, right? But I don't think people are understanding the gravity of what's happening right now. I know the Super Bowl is 11 days away, but for NBA teams, hell, NBA fans, this is their Super Bowl. Their opportunity to get a 31-year-old, 2-time MVP, someone that's been a defensive player of the year that averages 30, 12 on 60% shooting, that will absolutely shift the balance, the power balance in the NBA. Like, I was like, oh, we kind of casual with it. No, this is Giannis being available for a contender. What his wish looks like it's finally being granted.
By the way, the Super Bowl is in the Bay Area, but could the Warriors steal
they could win too
before the
They could win too.
Let me say this. First of all, good to see y'all. Hannah, the legend, Danny, bow-legged ass today. Hey, girl.
Hey, what's up?
But look, let me say this. It sounds like the Golden State Warriors are ready to throw the kitchen sink at them. I don't want none of those dishes. I don't want none of that plastic, those plastic plates and plastic cups and forks and knives. I want some expensive dishes in that sink.
China?
Yeah, if I'm giving up Giannis Antetokounmpo, I don't want a Jimmy Butler expiring contract. I don't even care about a pick in 2027. Give me something right now. Right? And you talk about what OKC did when they got rid of Paul George. You know who they got back in that trade? A Finals MVP and SGA. So when I'm looking at the Houston Rockets, you know what I'm saying? I still want to go back to the H-Town. Şengün, you one of my favorite players. But I'm looking at the Houston Rockets right now. Şengün looks like eye candy to me if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks.
What about Kuminga? Is he good enough for you? Is he a good dish?
Nah. I need more than that. I don't just want Jimmy Butler, Kuminga, and Podziemski. I'm sorry, I don't. I need something that's damn near proven. I believe what you're looking at, Şengün, you could throw in some picks in the Torrey Eason and make that happen. Bring Giannis to the H-Town with KD. Oh, now we cooking with grease.
Oh, yeah, now.
Cooking with fish grease.
No, grease. Yeah.
We're talking another Twin Towers situation, maybe. Who knows? Bobby, what is the degree of difficulty for the Rockets? Like, let's say Perk wants to make this happen.
Talk to me nice.
Listen, they've got the draft picks to do it. They've got that swap with Brooklyn next year. They've got 5 other firsts they can do. They got 2 from Dallas, or 1 from Dallas, 2 from Phoenix. Now we're looking at the players, right? Who do you want to give up if you are the Houston Rockets? Certainly Şengün with the money and what he can do on the court. I think if you're Milwaukee, you're saying, hey, we already have Miles Turner. Can we turn him into something else and maybe get more draft picks? I think you would be hesitant regarding Amen Thompson as far as willing to give him up in a deal. Certainly he's extension eligible next offseason. But yes, Houston has everything I would think Milwaukee would want with controllable contracts, draft picks, players that can win now and in the future.
Again, I hear you say Twin Towers. The real Twin Towers started in San Antonio. Why would you not bring it back to San Antonio? So I like Golden State. I like Houston. They're okay. But if he really wants to win, I think win right now, if he tries to get to San Antonio, I think that's a better fit for him.
I was going back to Akeem and Ralph Sampson. Come on, I was going like all the way back to H-Town.
That's a little bit before me. But,
All right, Brian, Wendy, like when we laid this out, there have been roadmaps with teams making these seismic trades before. What do the Bucks, in your mind, need to consider when building for the future of this franchise?
They have to consider what their priorities are. I cannot underscore enough the value of the 2026 draft pick that they already own. Yes, they have to swap it with New Orleans, but New Orleans is a bottom 3 team right now. if the lottery were today, the Bucks would have the 7th highest odds. You could have a potential of a top 5 pick, even if you have to swap it with New Orleans. So they've got to make sure that that pick is protected. And the way you protect it, Perk, is not trading for a guy like Şengün. You trade for a guy who could be good in 2 or 3 years. You trade for, you hope to draft a guy who can be good in 2 or 3 years now. That's what the Thunder did. That is the pathway you want to go down. Small market. Get draft picks from a team like Golden State, where you would be drafting when Steph Curry is in retirement, just like the Clippers are sort of maybe past their prime, oldest team of all time. Now you're getting their picks. That's the pathway I think that the Bucks have to study.
Well, Wendy, as you can see, I like to have my cake and my ice cream, and eat both of them. So I want a player and picks. I want both. But let me say this real quick. The Milwaukee Bucks, you better do right by Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't want to hear about do what's best for the organization. Yeah, that's part of it. The other part is doing right by a guy that has not only hung a banner, but has built an arena. Hell, Danny Ainge did right by Kendrick Perkins, and I wasn't nowhere near close to that when he sent me to Oklahoma City, right? And so when you think about this guy, generational talent, this is why it's going to make this decision a little bit more difficult, like especially pushing to the trade deadline, how the Bucks are going to move.
I mean, Giannis has some say-so in this too, right? He has some leverage, right?
Sure.
If he goes somewhere, they have to want to stay there. He also signed an extension. To take that risk and try to be like Toronto with Kawhi and myself, we got it done.
There you go.
But it's a very high risk
Like
at a 31-year-old to try to get it done in 1 year for a guy that might not stay there, for future preference.
You proved it was possible.
Boy, light-skinned and bow-legged, I can't stand it.
And you got